welcome to another installment of Apothecary Wisdom. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Maria Chaudhry, and I'm a midwife and an herbalist, and I'm the creator of Birth Song Botanicals. And today, this video is all about sleep. This is a part of a series we've been working on. A series about stress relief and anxiety and remedies and ways for you to live your happiest, healthiest, best life. And sleep is a vital, critical component, right? It's the foundation. And when you get enough sleep, then your thoughts tend to be more centered, your emotions tend to be more comfortable, your ability to make good decisions, your ability to cope with life and life stressors is improved. And good sleep also is the foundation for a healthy, vibrant immune system. We all know what it's like to, just sink into that bed and it's like, warm and comfy, and then you just feel yourself just floating into that sweet, sweet, deep state. And then your mind kind of hovers there, and then you just go into this deep healing place. That place is really restorative, and it's essential that we go there. Versus when, we also all know this, when you're tossing and turning through the night, your mind is going. You think, I haven't slept at all. You must have, because you've been in the bed for 8 hours, but somehow or another it's already morning. And then the next day you have to go and act like it's normal. And you have to make decisions, and you have to cope, and you have to be kind. And you have to drive and work and manage your home life. And so when you have multiple nights like that, it starts to really affect you. It's going to hurt you long term or immediately, either way. So let's talk more about how to get good sleep. And then let's talk a little bit about comparing good sleep to insomnia, and then you'll really appreciate the conversation. So insomnia is defined as the dissatisfaction in the quality or the quantity or the timing of your sleep. And it can be, if you have 3 nights of dissatisfying sleep in a week for a month, that is the classic definition of insomnia. But if you have 3 nights a week for a month where you're not getting good sleep, that absolutely starts to affect your ability to function and show up in the world as in the way that you really want to be showing up. All of us really want to be showing up as our best selves, as our vibrant selves, as our wise selves, as our fully capable selves, right? And good, healthy sleep is the foundation, is the key, it's the pillar to that. I want to say a few things about sleep. So yes, we need sleep, right? However, our sleep patterns change throughout our lives. So imagine, just think back and imagine a newborn. See how a newborn sleeps. They actually sleep like 20 hours of the day. The rest of them, they're crying and nursing and pooping, right? And then you got a toddler tossing and turning all night, barely sleeping. And then you have like a kid, a mid-aged kid. And then you have a teenager that wants to sleep till 2 every day if they could. And then you have a young adult who now has their freedom, and they hardly ever sleep. They're up all night, all the time, going and doing, right? And then you have this like working person that's working this 9-to-5 job, right? And they have to like show up and be on and be presentable, and they've got a lot of stress. And then you have this woman that's pregnant, and all of a sudden she has all these pregnancy changes that disrupt her sleep. And then you have this postpartum mom, or this breastfeeding mom. She has a whole host of other sleep challenges. And then you go back to maybe a little bit normalcy where you get to sleep and wake up on your own terms. And then you go through menopause, right? And then you perimenopause, and then you start having hot flashes, insomnia, night sweats, this whole thing. And then you go into becoming, in our elder years, in our golden years, our need for sleeping is really different then too. So even though our sleep patterns change, the need for restful, healing sleep does not change, right? I wanted to say a few things. I want to go back to the pregnant women. If you're pregnant and watching this, I have two resources for you that I want you to look at. One is called the Pregnancy Sleep Survival Guide. There'll be a link to it. And it's a blog that I wrote about when you break down the trimesters of pregnancy. Your first trimester, you are exhausted, right? And then the second trimester, you have more energy, and you're like, woohoo, I have more energy, I can show up in the world, I'm great, I can sleep good. And then you start to fall asleep, and the baby starts moving around. And then you're like, what? And then, or in the second trimester, you start having all these really vivid dreams. And some of them are cool, and some of them are really disturbing. And so that affects you psychologically, right? And then third trimester, you're like full and big, full of the baby, and so now you might be uncomfortable. And so your position really matters. Pillows really matter. It really matters your position because of your circulation of your blood to your baby and to the placenta. All that's really important. So if you're pregnant, I want you to read that one, and I hope you check that one out. And then also there's another guide that's a companion to that, all about pregnancy insomnia. So those are two links for you to look at. And then for the postpartum mom, you have a whole different set of sleep issues. And so I've written a handful of blogs about that. One is about how healthy or realistic sleep expectations for your newborn, because if you have realistic expectations for your newborn, then it'll help you sleep better. Also, safe bed sharing and co-sleeping. And then also another blog about how breastfeeding saves sleep. And so all of those links are in the description and will be associated with this video. Great. So let's talk about insomnia. And there are essentially two categories of insomnia. Either they're external from you or they're internal. So they're causing these psychological disturbances that are affecting your sleep from this outside source. An outside source is your schedule changed, right? A medication changed. You're either using or misusing maybe alcohol or sugar or caffeine or over-the-counter drugs or something like that. Or stress, life stressors. An internal disturbance would come from like restless leg syndrome, from snoring, sleep apnea. Those are things that are happening inside of you, hot flash. So there's a whole long list of these potential reasons that could be disturbing your sleep. One of them is like what I just said. I want to go through this whole long list of external and internal things. So some of the reasons you might not be sleeping well is because you're just in a lot of pain, right? You're in a lot of pain either from like fibromyalgia or arthritis. You could be, like I said, feeling a lot of emotional stress or physical stress. You could be feeling like the restless legs. Your bed might not be comfortable. There might be allergies, dust, mold, bed bugs. You might not feel safe where you're sleeping. You might not, you might have really vivid dreams or nightmares. You might be, just back to the uncomfortable, the room might be really hot. It might be loud sounds or too many lights. What else is, I have a whole long list. You could have, just the need to wake up to go to the bathroom multiple times, so urinary frequency. You might have GI upset, like acid reflux, and you might be depressed or anxious. I'm looking at my list here. You might have sleep apnea. You might snore, or your partner might snore. Either way, that's going to keep you awake. Restless legs. So these are all some of the reasons that might be keeping you awake. So now that we kind of understand that, let's start to look at some of the ways that we can help you sleep better. And I'm not talking about right now about herbs or anything like that. I'm going to do a whole separate video on how to incorporate relaxing nervines and sleep-inducing herbs. So I want you to watch that video. Right now, we're just talking about like healthy habits, right? So some of the big picture reasons that if you want to get a good night's sleep, it's back to the foundations, right? So we need you to be nourished, deeply nourished. You need to have those vitamins and minerals, and that calcium and that magnesium in your body, and you need to be well hydrated. When you have enough calcium and magnesium and minerals in your body, you have less pain, and you don't experience so much leg cramps or restless legs. You don't feel just so much tension or achiness. So nourishment and hydration are foundational. But then also you need to move around and have enough exercise. The exhaustion helps you sleep well. There's different types of exhaustion, right? There's mental exhaustion, and that might help you sleep well, but it might also just be continuing these thoughts in your mind that you never really wrapped up or ever finished. It's ongoing, it never ends, and it's almost overwhelming, and you're just mentally exhausted. That might perpetuate your insomnia. But then physical exhaustion, that'll put you to sleep quick. So if you're not sleeping well, then working out is going to be helpful. Another thing is this, these are basic things. I'm just reminding you what you already know. But your room is made for sleeping and intimacy. There's nothing else that goes into your room. It's dark. It's so dark you can't see your hand in front of your face. There's no light. There's no TV. The computer is not in your room. You're not on your phone, talking on your phone. You're not planning your work week right when you're trying to fall asleep with your schedule and your to-do list. That's all super important to do. Do that and about an hour or two before you lay down. Make that be a part of your bedtime routine. I'll talk more about your bedtime routine. But the darkness, the coolness of your room, the heavy weighted blanket, the comfortable pillow, that's all really essential. The bedtime routine. So if you're living a life that's like really hectic and chaotic and scattered, and you're trying to create some harmony in your life, then you want to create a routine. You want to wake up around the same time, and you want to fall asleep around the same time. And so that's part of your routine. So your routine can be to brew a cup of tea. I'm drinking some tranquility right now. I'll tell you more about all of this tea that I'm drinking in my next video. Brew some tea, make an herb bath, turn off the bright lights, light a candle, listen to acoustic music, stretch out, do some yoga, gentle massage, self-massage. Those all help you fall asleep. Also listening to guided meditations for sleep, that's really helpful. I recorded a meditation for you. That's going to be attached to this video also. There's a couple other things. You know what else keeps you awake is just caffeine. So drinking caffeine, I would limit it, if you do drink caffeine, to not drink it after lunch, right? Also, we tend to think that alcohol helps us sleep, right? But alcohol really disrupts your sleep. So does sugar. That disrupts your sleep. Also, not getting outside enough. So if you're having a hard time falling asleep, in the winter it might be so hard, but in the evening, when it's not so cold, go outside. Look at the moon. Open the curtain. See the moon. See the stars. See the night versus all the bright lights. And I know I've kind of already alluded to this, but I talked about TV in your room, but the news is incredibly stressful. Watching the news, planning your finances, watching intense shows. I tell you, I watched the show, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I watched Breaking Bad, legit. I could not sleep. Not that show affected my dreams, but I went to sleep thinking about it, and I woke up thinking about it, and I went to sleep thinking about it, and woke up thinking about it, and it was in me, right? Until I binge watched the whole dang thing so I could get out of it, so I could go back to sleep. So those shows that we binge watch really affect your emotional and your spiritual well-being. So there is some goodness to that, but maybe not right when you're falling asleep. Another thing that people say to help with sleep and not help with sleep is, back to eating. You want to not go to bed hungry, but then also not a full stomach. And one more thing is people say, don't take a nap. Whereas I'm a different person. I think that taking a nap in the afternoon, because I'd like to, as much as I'm trying to create harmony, I wake up at a certain time and I go to bed at a certain time, I'd like to think of myself as a cathemeral being. A cathemeral being is like a cat. So a cat is when they're thirsty, they take a drink. When they're tired, they take a nap. When they want to stretch out, they just stretch out anywhere. They're up in the night and they just listen to the demands of their body. They're very body led, right? So when you're in your day and you're exhausted, instead of just pushing through, or instead of having some caffeine, or instead of just like go take a walk, I say honor your exhaustion. And actually it's a skill from my perspective to be able to stop what you're doing, close your mind. It's like meditation. Just close your mind, look inward, take a 20-minute nap, 30-minute nap, wake up, be fully energized, and engage with the rest of your day. That doesn't seem to influence my sleep personally. It actually seems to make me more effective. And so use your nap as you will, but a nap longer than 30 minutes might affect your sleep. So just keep it less than 30 minutes. There's probably some more, but this is the other important thing I want to leave you with, is you want to ask yourself, why? What am I going to bed to? And so my question is, what am I saying no to so that I can have these healthy lifestyles? Am I saying no to the news? Am I saying no to studying in my bed? Am I saying no to the alcohol? Am I saying no to something so that I can sleep well? And then that in turns into, what am I waking up for? What am I getting out of bed for? Am I getting out of bed because I have to and I got to go to the same old job and my life sucks and I'm just like overwhelmed and I'm not really even living any life that feels purposeful or in alignment with my being? Or is there something inside me that's pulling me, calling me, that's exciting me, that's waking me up, right? That anything, even if it's a small thing, that I want to do it, that I have some sort of motivation for, that becomes your why. That becomes the thing that propels you forward so that you live your life in a healthy way, so that you can show up in a vibrant and dynamic way, and it's going to help you get the best sleep. So ask yourself, why? So we're going to make some more videos that are associated to this one. We're going to talk all about herbs. We're going to talk about relaxing nervines and hypnotic herbs. You definitely want to watch that one. We're going to talk about herbal remedies that help you sleep and how birthsong can help you sleep. And I ask that you, if you like this video, please comment, like, share, and always drink deep and walk in beauty, my friends.